So I, on behalf of all of us who attended Northeastern over years, give me the pleasure welcoming each and everyone here this afternoon to this little get-together. Long overdue. But I don't want to steal the show, so I will want to call on Maura, who was the head prefect girl. So Maura, please.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Those who don't know me, my name is Maura Kusilal. I attended Northeastern as one of the pioneer students. First of all, let me welcome everybody, right? I've given my own welcome to all our past and former teachers and students who were there with me and who came after me or who were within the time period I was a student there, I 61 to 66.
That's that age, eh?
Right? No, I think I am one of the oldest students here today. Right? I'm 75 years old, I'll be 76 soon. Right? Well, they asked me to give you a welcome and to give you a little history of the school, and I'm doing that with pleasure. Now, Northeastern started off, first of all, Mr. Laltu was specially selected by Dr. Eric Williams to be the principal of that school. He was handpicked by Dr. Eric Williams. So Mr. Laltu used to visit the school before it was really open because he wanted certain things, put in the school. And Dr. Eric Williams, during Mr. Laltu's tenure there, he stayed there from 1961 to 64. Dr. Eric Williams used to visit the school incognito. And we were given books. We had free books. And the books had a label inside it. And Dr. Eric Williams used to come into the classroom, and we had locker desks. And he asked you to open your desk and you want to see the condition the books were being kept in. Right? Many times he visited us. And then Mr. Laltu wanted an assembly hall, one of the buildings down in the back. And he couldn't get chairs for it. So Mr. Laltu organized an assembly and he invited the Minister of Education and so on to come. And he kept the assembly at 2 o'clock in the evening when the sun was the hottest. And 8 students fainted. Even Dr. Eric Williams went and helped pick up students. And next day, 2 truckloads of chairs came. So he was a strategist, right? Then Mr. Laltu had the autonomy to hire his staff. Because he taught at QRC. He was an English master in QRC before he came to Sangre Grande. So he hired Ian Jones, Michael Gray, Carl Theodore, and Arnhem Paris. And he met them and he said, I need a teacher at the school, I'm hiring you. And they all came up to Mr. Laltu in his Pontiac every day, and he took them back down to Port of Spain. So and these young men were just about 5 or 6 years older than us. And we girls, some of these girls had crushes on these teachers. Right? And these young men never called us by our first names because they didn't want to get too familiar with us. So they used to call them Miss Kusilal, Miss James, Miss Toyasu, Mr. Ali, Mr. Khan, and so on. That is how they addressed us, right? So it's Carl Theodore, who taught Spanish. Ian Jones taught Spanish too. Michael Gray taught English. And in Paris, he taught French, right? So those are our 4 young members of staff. But the school started with Mr. Adams, Roma Akwi, Mr. Eba Jones, who taught IA, Iris Roach taught home ec. She came from Tobago. And but we didn't start home ec right away. So during the holidays, some of the students, including myself, used to come out and help paint the classrooms and take out all the wares and so on that was in the storeroom and wash them and place them in the cupboards, and Miss Roach used to get these decals to stick on the doors of the cupboards and so on. So we, the first students, had this sense of belonging. Because we had to clean the school. We didn't have a cleaner. We had to clean the school. So we had this sense of belonging. And we had students coming from far as Guayagayari, Toko, Arima, right? Because the aim of Dr. Eric Williams was to have a dormitory. One of the buildings on in the back was to be a dorm, but that never materialized. And one of the members of staff at that time, I knew her in primary school. Her name was Margaret Pear. And she had a habit in primary school, when you reach in the assembly late for morning devotion, she said, twist your ears, right? But she never twisted mine. But when she came to North and I saw her, I said, if I twist my ears, you're going to bite you, right? So she never came around me to twist my ears. But Mr. Laltu had a specialty, right? Right where we have the part of the assembly hall and the library was the lawn. And he had a fountain. And in that fountain, he had a map of Trinidad and Tobago, and that was his pride and joy. And Alexander, who we favorably called Bobby Ned, used to bring grass from El Poso and plant it there. So the lawn was really lush and green. And the first day, a certain student who was sitting here came to school, and she was walking on the lawn. I didn't remember this story, but she reminded me of it. And I called her and I told her, you cannot walk on the lawn. So she started jiggling off this and she says, your lawn? I said, no. And I took her to Mr. Laltu. But Mr. Laltu said, anybody walking on that lawn has to come to the office. And as a dutiful and obedient head girl, I took her to him and he gave her a few canes. And would you believe, I didn't remember this. But in the first reunion, she said, Morakusila, you know, the first day I come in the school, you make me get licks. I said, me? She said, yes. Then she reminded me of the story. I said, Kamsan girl, I'm so sorry you carry this pain. For 55 years, you carry this pain. Right? So, I mean, those were some of our I wouldn't say it's a wonderful time, but as a head girl, now, we really had a head boy whose name was Carl St. Rose, and myself. So, Mr. Laltu, I was walking past his office, because his office was in the main building in front, and he had windows there. So when I passed, he said, Kusila, I'll come in here, I want to talk to you. So when I go in, he said, I'm appointing you the head girl. I said, did you discuss it with your staff? He said, I'm autocratic. I have no time with that. I have been observing you and you have leadership qualities and you are going to be the head girl and don't disappoint me. All right, I said, okay, sir. So I assumed my role and he had Carl as a head boy, and after 3 months, he called us back in the office and he told Carl he's not functioning as a head boy should function. So he's removing him as the head boy and he said, you'll be the head prefect. So my role was doubled up. And I can tell you, the students we had in Northeastern were very good students. Some of them told me they were afraid of me. I don't know. I don't know why, maybe. And then Mr. Laltu gave me permission to run a lunchtime detention. So when you are Miss